Meeting of the Economic Development Task Force for Tuesday, May 20th, 25 may come to order. Please silence all cell phones. Ms. Huffman, please call the roll.
Jesse Romero.
Present.
Charles Tagman.
Here.
John Joaquin.
Here, and Member McKenna and Member Poole are both excused. So this is likely going to be a short meeting, and we have some guests in the audience. So before we get to that, do we have a motion to approve the minutes for April 15th? You've been provided those.
Second. I make a motion to approve the minutes for the meeting. Second by Charlie.
Second.
Okay.
Okay, take a roll.
Jesse Romero.
Here, yes.
Charles Tagman.
Yes.
John Joaquin.
Yes. So I don't think there's any presentations unless this is going first.
I had that part of the
Of your component?
component.
Okay,
under
we're going to
old business.
open it up to public participation, and we do have our new parking director to introduce himself. If you want to stand up, and you get more than 3 minutes, but then we do have, I don't know the protocol here. I'm going to go with, yes,
Yeah,
why don't
yeah.
we do that? So
Fine,
you have
Crystal.
3 minutes, it's going to go green. A minute, yeah, you're not your first rodeo. Thank you for attending. We always love to have guests. We
Thank
don't
you.
always get them.
So-
Please state your name and
My
where
name's
you're
Crystal Saylor. I live at 645 Ball Street, right up the road. And I've spoken definitely at a few city commission meetings and county council about a variety of efforts. I've been in New Smyrna for over 30 years, born and raised in Florida, down in Brevard County. I guess I'm about 3 years too late to give feedback on the 1,600 acres that is now going to be Deering Park Innovation Center. Now that we've sort of
Just make sure you talk into the mic.
Now that we sort of have that where it is, what I would like to do, because it's going to be at least a few years until any business can develop out there and bring in jobs, I would like to see a focus on existing commercial properties in New Smyrna Beach and see what we can do to redevelop and support those. I think Canal Street's one of the most amazing examples of what can be done with a dead and dying area, and it's now a vibrant, beautiful, super active region of this community. There's so much vacant land and commercial property just along US 1. And then as I started thinking about it, we've got West Canal, we've got 3rd Avenue, we've got sporadic pieces all over. It would be really neat to see an inventory of all the unutilized commercial space and size so that a potential business could know whether they could fit in or where they could fit in. Also, it's come to my attention by looking actually at a parking meeting notes that the hospital will be vacated at some stage. I've also heard that it might be turned into a physical therapy facility. I don't know. I've also heard that the age of the building means it would be more expensive to refurbish than to demolish. So we've got the hospital. I've also heard the Utilities Commission building will be vacated at some stage. So it would be great to develop a timeline on how these things are going to occur and what potential uses could be there based again on the size and the space and the area involved in these parcels. The Utilities Commission building is beautiful. I don't know if that's something that's owned by the city, whether that could be used for future municipal things or not. But whatever, I would really, like I said, like to see a big focus on, hey, let's take what we have already rather than our new shiny thing, which is going to happen no matter what. Let's work on that. The last thing I want is for our US 1 to look like it does in regions of Daytona and Holly Hill, okay? It's too nice of an area, and if you're like me, I'm not a beachsider, which beachsiders, you can almost never get them to leave beachside. I live, like I said, right up the road. I don't shop at Walmart. I'm not going to go to shops out in Venetian Bay. I'm not going to go to shops out in DPIC. It's great to have this beautiful little region in New Smyrna Beach, and I think we should really make the most of the commercial availability that's already here with the roads and utilities already ready to go. Thanks for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you for your comments, and I think, we share a lot of the goals that you espoused there, so thank you. And now, Steve, would you like to come up and introduce yourself? And we're not going to time you on that.
Yeah, we are.
Well, good morning. My name is Steve Mendergraw. I'm the new Director of Mobility and Parking. I come by way of Walt Disney World and the Central Florida Tourism Oversight
Put your mic
District.
next to your mouth.
Oh, yeah.
Just put it close to you.
Sorry. So I worked at Walt Disney World in various operation roles for 13 years, and then I was the parking manager for the Central Florida Tourism Oversight District for the last 10 and a half. So if you're familiar with the Disney Springs area, the parking operation there, the 3 parking garages that actually belong to the district, that was my responsibility. I was brought in to create the program, so I built that parking program. It was there from dirt and helped part of the design of the garages and kind of build the operation. So I'm happy to be here in the city. I've been walking around, looking at things, observing, and I'm here to just make it easier for the guests who come here, the visitors that come here, the business owners, the residents, and I'll do whatever I can to make the parking experience seamless for everybody. So.
Well, thank you, and welcome aboard. So are you a Florida native? Or
I am not. So
where-
I am originally from Connecticut.
Okay.
I moved down, like many college kids did at the time, to work at Disney. But I already graduated from college and never left. So I've been here 23 years.
Were you ever a character at Disney?
I was not. Well, not really a character, but no.
Some of your coworkers
Yeah,
might have
exactly.
said you were.
No, I was in various operational roles at Magic Kingdom, Epcot, Hollywood Studios, and then Disney Springs. So I've been around. So
Great.
Yep.
Any questions from the?
I do.
yeah.
Okay, so in your comments, you mentioned 3 things that, and I'm quite, torn on this here. You said you want to make it better for the visitors, and then the businesses, and then the residents. I feel it should residents could come first, because we are the ones that are here full time.
Right.
And we suffer with a lot of the problems that we have here. Now, the question is, what limitations do you have in regards to this parking, your job, basically? Now, I asked the question for the following. When the task force first formed here, I came and spoke to them, and I asked them, I said, are you going to realign the streets and take back what is rightfully the city property, the easements? Like, for example, I live on Cooper. All right, Cooper was redone before I moved here. It has a sidewalk on the west side. It's supposed to have a sidewalk on the east side. It doesn't. And the street's wider. Now, when you end Cooper into Ocean, it narrows the street there. Now, folks end up putting in their sprinkler heads and their boulders, so people can't park there. And they have signs saying you can't park here. So I asked the question, what limitations do you have in regards to that?
To be honest with you, I'm not sure yet. This is my first week. I've literally, this is.
Well, I'm throwing it out
Yeah,
there.
no,
so-
that's fine.
Just, well,
But
let's welcome Steve.
No, I do welcome you.
And
No,
not
I'm
put him
sorry.
on the-
No,
No,
I
no,
do.
you're
grill right
totally
away.
fine. I honest with you, I've been going through all the old parking studies and task force notes that I was given, and it's a stack like this
Yeah,
for the last 20 years, so I'm going through. I'm also been out and about walking the city, walking the streets, and just seeing what we have to deal with.
I've seen you.
Yeah, I feel like I'm getting dirty looks from people because I'm like, what's, but I'm just trying to take it all in first and then really get into it. And I know we have the busy summer season coming up, so just see if there's small changes we can make, relatively inexpensive and quickly to help let's make the summer a little better, and then just continue to grow on that. So.
Right.
Well, I'll go back to welcome. We'll give you a few days, weeks, months to get your feet under you and report back on how we try and solve kind of a vexing problem that exists in our community. So thank you.
Thank you.
And you can sit
All right.
down and stay if you like. We always like that.
Thank you.
Yes, we're moving along.
I see
Well, he's only been here.
I'm just letting you know what the landscape is like, that's all.
He still has a nice welcome balloon in his office. Let's wait till that defizzles before we,
I'll get pops soon, don't worry.
well, with you, son. I'm going to move on to old business. And, the question is, there old business to discuss? And I think there are a few things to note, and maybe Samantha's going to cover this as well, but, you know, we had a big Tuesday last week where the Deering Park Innovation Center project was approved from a rezoning standpoint. There's still a lot to do. It's a multi-year process. You know, my personal opinion is it will bring growth and higher paying jobs and a new vision of our area out to the west. I don't think anybody wants to change the beauty and historic nature of where we're at. And as I stated at the event, I think having the resources that rezoning and, you know, expanded tax base, and they note that that will modulate the amount of property tax percentage that citizens and residents pay to, you know, make it more affordable here, if you want to call it that. But, you know, as noted, there's traffic coming from what's going on in Edgewater, what's going on west of the development with South Village and the Palms, and what's going on in Port Orange. And if we were to stay, you know, a cloistered town with no development, we're still going to get all those people, but we wouldn't have the resources, the additional resources to, you know, support here and you know, maybe alleviate traffic. That'd be my point of view. We'll see where this all goes. And any comments? I know you've been involved in this for quite some time.
So today is what, May 20th, 2025? Allegedly, the first shovel will go in May 13th of 2028, according to what the PUD stated in there. And before that, you have to do the stormwater survey, you know, stormwater management process in there. But I'm skeptical, John. I'm sorry to say that. I'm skeptical of the process, and I can almost assure you, as we said here today, that Deering Park, the developer, will build a hotel. The first thing to build will be a hotel. And they will house their people in that hotel, and they'll start building the houses. There'll be no I hope I'm wrong. I hope I'm wrong. There'll be no businesses available until all the houses are built and all the pad ready is going in there. Because in the PUD, if you read the PUD, and it says in there that they have to build 500,000 square feet of a structure. They said it here in the meeting here, and they said they will have about 500 people here working at the time that it really gets going. So doing the math, a hotel room with 150 rooms equals about 470,000 square feet. So that will meet their criteria for them to have that. So the hotel will be built, they'll use it for the people to live there and work in there, kind of stuff there, and then they can move on ahead with the. I hope I'm wrong. I really do hope I'm wrong. I would like to see basically a timeline, like the young lady said about what are we doing in town here, but a timeline with, once you get going there, what is our goal? What can we do as a group to make Deering Park what it's supposed to be? What do we have to put boots on the ground? Do we have to go meet people? What do we have to do to bring in these high-end jobs that they espouse that are coming in here in the next 10 years?
That's why we have a partnership with Team Volusia. Team Volusia is our marketing arm for Volusia County as a whole. That's why the city has a membership with that,
Right.
And we're very active. I'm the chairman of the council for the practitioners, and we work very closely with them. And that's why we asked Deering Park to create that in the beginning, because the leads that we were getting from Team Volusia, we didn't have property here in town that was suitable, and we were losing those opportunities and leads.
Right.
They were not coming to New Smyrna Beach. That is why we asked Deering Park if they would come north to New Smyrna Beach so that we could add those industrial spaces to be able to garner
Right.
some of the businesses and some of those leads and land them here in New Smyrna Beach for those higher paying jobs. And we're very specifically targeting aviation and aerospace technology because they are the highest paying jobs, and they are very much resilient towards downturns in the economy, as well as COVID and some of the other things that we have seen. So that industry seems to be very resilient towards that. That's why we're targeting and doing all of this work of what we're doing. And I've personally been working with businesses that I've been working with for months now that can't find a parcel large enough here in New Smyrna or it doesn't meet their criteria. I've hand walked them to Ernie Cox with
Right.
Deering Park to introduce them and make that introduction. That's my job. That's why I'm here. So that's how that will work, is with our reach that we get worldwide with Team Volusia to specifically target those companies that we want here, and then we'll work with Deering Park directly. You have to remember their philosophy for Deering Park is a very specific, it's a special kind of philosophy, making sure that that company has the same philosophy, making sure that their buildings and the architecture and the use and the landscaping and that it matches, that it aligns. So it's not going to just be, like an asphalt manufacturer or something like that out there that's, kind of a dirty or trucking or Connex containers or anything like that. You're not going to see anything like that out at Deering Park because they are very clear about that they want to make sure that their partners and that the businesses they land out there have the same philosophy that they do.
I saw it in the PUD where it says you can't have those things in there. The
Correct.
limitations they have there and what they're looking for. But see, what I look at, Samantha, is as a person that is driven, that I am, that, like, for example, I went to Pensacola. I gave out your cars to all the things to people that were there for SpaceX and for NASA out of Mississippi, out of Alabama, out of other places in the country there that were there for shows there. In my opinion, we need to start doing that to go to air shows. They have one in Melbourne. They have one in Lakeland.
That's what Team Volusia does for us.
Well, we can't do that then? Oh, so it's all up to them. So basically, we can't do that kind of job then. Okay.
A couple things I would add is, Team Volusia is doing a strong job of bringing, new industries to this area. I was at the Q breakfast, as were you, and they had both Boeing and is it Aura Aero, which is an electric, plane manufacturer from France that are locating up in Daytona Beach. So the question is, when we have some infrastructure that's not just, the light industrial corporate headquarters, but having, places where their employees can live, work, and play, I think, we now have a real draw. We're closer to the Cape than Daytona Beach, and we have the amenities in this part of town that, make people want to live here. I do trust these people. I mean, I know that what happened at Venetian Bay, really soured this community, but I think these people, having held the land for almost 100 years, have a desire to build a legacy here that is not the Palms at Venetian Bay, which, no offense to that, but that's not, they see a planned community, and you're going to see it in just a second, that's more like Alton and Abacoa down to the south of us that, offers a much better vision than, some of the tract development you see around here currently. So, we're going to have to trust but verify, and our leadership is going to have to enforce the PUD. And I think, there is a lot of process that they have to go through that if they don't do it right, they won't go to the next step. So,
Right.
Growth and change, a lot of people don't like it, but let's not change this. Make it happen out there. I've always
Right.
liked Fred's, Newtown will be out there,
Yeah.
or the mayor.
And the big difference with this developer and landowner is that they are self-funded. They, if there's a big downturn in the market and things are not moving, that's okay. They have the ability to be able to afford to wait if that's needed, or to be able to do the engineering and the infrastructure and the other things underground, so that when the economy does pop back up and people are moving and buying and expanding their businesses, that they'll be ready and positioned to do that.
And that was the problem with Venetian Bay, as
Correct.
I understand. The downturn in 2008, required a sale of the asset, and then new people came in with tighter financial pressures. These guys don't have it. They're a big, wealthy family that has been here for a long time. So that happened.
Yep,
Cue the video.
absolutely.
Yeah, there was a tour, what was it, May or April? 14th? Was it? I can't.
I couldn't be there, but.
Yeah, I'd have to look it up on my phone, but this is some video that came out of it.
Southeast Volusia County, Florida, the cities of New Smyrna Beach, Edgewater, and Oak Hill, together a vibrant coastal community with a rich heritage and untapped potential. We're transforming our communities, starting with Deering Park in Edgewater and the Deering Park Innovation Center in New Smyrna Beach. Full of opportunity, this site is ready to be transformed into something extraordinary. Located in a prime area, this site is poised for growth. Recently, we visited South Florida, Abacoa and Jupiter, and Alton and Palm Beach Gardens. These communities have set benchmarks for balanced, sustainable development, offering vibrant, mixed-use spaces and community areas. Their success stories inspire us as we bring a similar vision to Deering Park. Abacoa features a mix of single-family homes, townhomes, apartments, and assisted living, along with Florida Atlantic University, the UF Scripps Research Institute, and Max Planck Institute, with parks, preserves, and schools. Alton offers convenient apartments, townhomes, and single-family homes with access to shopping, dining, recreation, and work, reducing trip miles and promoting an active lifestyle. Imagine connected spaces for all needs, coming to life right here in Deering Park. By diversifying the tax base, we're creating a more balanced economy while expanding the commercial sector and reducing the percentage of tax burden on residential homeowners. We're developing a quality labor pool, offering high-paying jobs and access to higher education and technical training. With a flood-resilient design, connected stormwater system reducing off-site discharges, connected green spaces, and places for families to gather, quality of life rises within the landscape. This project will create jobs and boost the local economy, supporting our growing aerospace industry, benefiting everyone in the community. This project is the result of thoughtful collaboration between city leaders, landowners, developers, and the community. We understand the concerns raised by residents in Venetian Bay regarding environmental impacts and potential bait-and-switch tactics. The Deering Park Development Company, committed to excellence, transparency, and accountability, and the proposed planned unit development agreement locks in all commitments. 46,000 acres adjacent to the site have been placed in permanent conservation, and at least 400 acres of natural vegetation will be preserved within the project site. The Deering family has been part of our community for over 100 years. The Deering family and Deering Park Development Company are dedicated to seeing this project through, offering stability and strong financial backing, even during economic downturns. The commitment to all promises, including conservation and land management, continues to grow, with plans to add more acreage to ensure a sustainable future. Shaping a thriving future for Deering Park, where people can live, work, and play. Deering Park Innovation Center, empowering Southeast Volusia for a better tomorrow.
Thank you.
Really well done.
Yes. And our own Stephanie Ford. What else should we?
May I comment on
Yes,
Deering Park?
you sure can.
I'm not quite as far down the skeptic line as Jess is, but I have been a skeptic right from the beginning. You know, you say, John, that you trust them. Trust has to be earned. I don't know that they've really done anything yet to really have the trust of the community yet. It's just not, they're not there yet. I hate to keep referring back to the villages, but I watched that community grow from 20,000 homes to 60,000 homes. And one of the distinctions was that the Morse family had to walk the streets of the villages every day. Not only they call him the developer, the oldest brother, but the three girls, one is in charge of sales, one is in charge of production, and the other is in charge of design. They have grandkids that walk the streets every day. And I was pleased to see, if I interpreted correctly, that one of the execs has committed to building a home in Deering Park.
Two of them have.
Huh?
Three. Ernie Cox, David
Yep.
Fetchman, who represents the family through Miami Corp. The family, the way their business is structured, that none of them work for the corporation. They sit on the board.
Right.
They don't want them self-dealing.
But Miami Corp is a Chicago-based company, correct?
Correct,
Yeah. And it's got to have a local flavor. It's got to be able to have people walking down Canal Street or Flagler that says to somebody, you're doing a good job or you're doing a lousy job. And because that's the way things change or get modified, is the local flavor. I don't know how you insist on that, but I think it should be a character of how they move forward. And, you know, if you can get a commitment that people are going to stay in town and...
It's already naturally occurring.
Yeah.
Who's the third person that's committed to?
Gentleman with Coulter Homes,
Oh, Josh?
Sean.
Sean.
And that's good. So all I would say is, you know, exercise caution. And, you know, it's nice to sit here, but I've been in business for 50 years, and you have no clue who they're going to sell out to in 3 years because you have absolutely no control of that. And particularly, and I haven't looked into the family, but particularly if there's a generational change of ownership control, be careful. I mean,
Very true.
so again, it's caution. I think that going forward makes a lot of sense,
Yeah, and
but we've got to exercise
Yeah,
caution.
and I'm, you know, not on their payroll, but my experience has been, you know, working with them, that they're going above and beyond what typical developers do because they have the legacy here, because we asked them to do this, and they own the land at fractions of a penny on the dollar, so they don't have the same profit, you know, concerns or margin concerns that probably a lot of other developers do. The other thing that I see is they're a 50-50 partner with the developer, so they're not, you know, they're not selling the land. Now, they might sell parts of it. Obviously, homeowners are going to own the land that they buy. But, you know, so we're going to go through this over the next few years, and I think they have an opportunity to continue to prove themselves. And they have a big presence in Florida. I was down in Miami, and, you know, there's Vizcaya, there's the Deering Estate down there, and, you know, so they're big in our, even if the family is spread out around the country, they're still big here. Any other comments?
Yes, a tout, like in the video here, showed again Abacoa and Alton down in Jupiter. But one thing, like the old saying goes, what came first, the chicken or the egg? For Abacoa to even begin to be what it is today, you already had three things there. Like I said before, three anchors, three big anchors. The Cardinal Spring Training Facility, which is growing to the Marlins now also. You had the FAU campus, and you had the Scripps. So you already had people working inside of there. You had a demand, you might say, for that kind of stuff. Yet what we're doing here is that we're hoping we get demand, basically. So when we tout Abacoa, we say, this is a great place here. Yeah, but that was already there. Things were there from the beginning. There was a demand for the housing. There was a demand for diversity. There was a demand for the area there. Because my sister lives about a mile from there. I used to go visit her, and Abacoa wasn't even started in the 90s. And to this day, it's still growing. It's still being built in there. Now, one thing that surprised me, though, is why is Ernie Cox moving from Abacoa to here? Is Abacoa ending its run as being finished there? Is the place changing? I mean, I'm thinking, why is this?
No,
just
he's
question.
Committed to here.
Because he's very excited and he's very committed to this project, and he believes in the project, and he wants to be part of it as it continues to grow and thrive. And
I understand, like Charlie said, you have to earn the trust. I don't know Ernie Cox. He's a nice guy, great. But then again, the old saying goes, the proof's in the pudding. You have to know what is in writing for the future.
I've been working with this group for over 12 years, so they're,
Well, like,
Yeah.
when it comes to money, everything changes, unfortunately.
So, yeah, I think that's the challenge and the opportunity for us is to, have a comprehensive plan to get, an FAU or, cluster around the space industry, so some of these anchor institutions that, might come here. So I think that's a great opportunity for us, and it's going to take some work. Any other final comments on Deering Park? Move along. So the last item is the task force duties and responsibilities from last meeting.
since we have two of the members not here, do you want to table that till next time?
Yeah, that works. So we're going to go on to new business. Is there any new business that the members here want to bring up, discuss?
I think we should discuss what Crystal said about the Hyatt on Third Avenue, the hospital, the utilities building. What is the future for those buildings? Do we know anything
So
to that?
in our economic development plan, which was attached in your last month's package, there has been discussion about, and I've talked to 3 or 4 different boutique hotels for the Utilities Commission building when they're ready to vacate that and go out west. But, they haven't, I go and attend those board meetings and their workshops, and they're not ready. They would need to start with a zoning change, and they come up with a master plan. They've got to do a stormwater plan, utilities plan. I mean, they've got a lot of work to do. So that is
5
down
years,
the road.
5 years at least before even.
Maybe, they haven't even decided to start yet.
Right,
So we don't know. We don't know what the timing is on that. But I have quite a few people, and, their chairman, Buddy Davenport, has also talked to another developer of boutique hotels. So we have about 5 together that are kind of standing and waiting to see what's going to happen with that. And I've been talking with our development services director about making sure that we have the zoning and the capability to put a boutique hotel on Canal Street. So that's what's in the plan for this.
There is an active interest in another location there too, isn't there?
Yes,
But that has a zoning issue, I believe.
yes. And it would take, that particular project would be the whole side of that block from Canal Street down Rush to Julia.
Is that
so we're
stalled
working
because
with
of
that
that
owner.
zoning issue? Or are they actively?
I think they're
Working
actively
rezoning.
moving forward, but they would need to come up with a plan, and I don't know if that existing building on there is also historic in nature, so there's some things to work through,
Can you enlighten me on that? Because I don't know what John's talking about, you guys are talking about. I haven't
The
ever heard of that.
former, where the creamery was, on the
Yes.
corner of Rush
Yes, I
and
remember the
Canal
creamery.
Street,
That was
and
taken
then
down.
the same gentleman, father and son, they own the properties behind them that face Rush and Julia. So they're talking about, they did a pre-application meeting. You can actually go and listen to the meeting. It's available online. And they're talking about doing a boutique hotel.
Yeah.
So on that site,
So if I'm not mistaken, currently the height limit on Canal is 77 feet?
I believe so.
Because of the Utilities Commission, that's as high as they can go
Yeah.
right now. So do they want to go higher? What's the zoning about? Or zoning in that zone there instead of being business
We'll
to
just
make it
make sure
hotel?
that density would allow for that and height, depending upon, because for hotels, it's all about room keys. That there's a magic number of
Right.
what it takes, to how many room keys, so that you're breaking even and then even profit, making a little bit of a profit. So it's just, working with those developers and finding out what they need and making sure that we can do that here in town with our zoning and our comp plan. With regards to the hospital, we know that they are working on their design for the road expansion and improvements that they are required to make
Right,
at Sugar
before they
Mill.
come down.
And so they're working on that first, and so those will be done, and then they'll start developing that site. But they still have to get their
Oh, it's years.
Well, not only do they have to get their design for the buildings approved by Advent Health here locally, but then it has to go to corporate, and then it has to go to ACA. So that's many years in the making, because they are just focusing on the road right now.
Right. Then they have to come to planning and
However,
zoning and-
if you, as you know, the hospital owns a lot of other surrounding properties. We haven't been told or informed yet of what the plan is, whether all of those other properties will also be vacated and sold as they go out west, closer to 95. But the main hospital proper, from what I understand, the building is very old. It's a very elderly building. And so there's been a couple talks about, maybe apartments, maybe assisted living. There's been a lot of, but it's not, the property is owned by the district. It's not owned by the hospital. So we don't know what will that entail? Would the district sell it, or will they reuse it and repurpose it? It's really their building. So
Who's the district?
the district, the hospital district, the authority, when you pay your taxes and you have it on your tax bill, is hospital authority.
Oh, okay.
So
Didn't know
we're
that.
kind of waiting to see. I mean, we are waiting at the, kind of chomping at the bit, if you will. And that's another item that's also in our economic development plan is, repurposing that building and the buildings that they own, the other structures that they own, whether we
And
help them
I think
find.
a lot of people are waiting for the economic environment to improve. Interest rates go down a little.
Yes,
That still seems, I'm selling a house, and that's been a problem.
right. Well, that and the economy on a global scale and what the tariffs and things, do to us as far as importing building materials and things like that, it all factors in. But it's years in the making. I mean, they're not quite ready to, they're not going to move out there probably even in the next 5 years.
Are you tracking any big new thing coming? I know you mentioned 3rd Street by the Dunkin' Donuts. I know that's they're trying to sell that property. Any major new things to share with the community?
Well, I am working with I just put them all in a spreadsheet, about 35 different businesses or interested parties for CRA grants. So that's really exciting. Some of the vacant parcels on US 1, some of our existing businesses and kind of revamping and so yeah, lots of activity there.
It's nice to see the refreshing of that. I mean, the Ace Hardware, the Davis
Yes,
Brothers, and
yes.
some of the other things going on. I would say that Team Volusia has connected the development company with NASA, and there's some interest in NASA. So, that space vision at Deering Park, just to touch
We have a
on that.
couple
That's-
other big ones, but we have confidentiality agreements, and so I can't share
No,
who they
but
are. I'm sorry.
Speak into your microphone. It's okay.
But
Nobody
yeah,
will tell.
we do have some exciting opportunities coming up, and I think the residents will be really happy with what's being proposed.
So are you saying Disney's coming to?
No, not
That's what I heard.
not anything that
That's
large.
what I heard.
Not anything that large, but
I heard somebody say Disney. Okay,
I-
so
Translation needs.
yeah, I
it's
think,
officially a rumor.
but it's wonderfully busy, and
Good.
and I'm able to be able to provide a lot of information and assistance. So
Well,
and
you're
we
doing
have
a great
team.
job. Thank you for that. Okay, I think we get to formally turn it over to you. Let's see, board member comments, director's report. Well, board member comments. Anything anybody wants to add to what we've already discussed? Charlie?
No,
No?
I'm thinking. Give me a second. Come back.
Nope, we're moved past you. We'll let you have some moments later. Samantha, would you like to give your report?
Sure. In your packet, you have the May in the Loop Economic Development Newsletter. I just wanted to let you know too. So in every issue, I'm doing research and finding opportunities for grants that our small businesses can take advantage of. So every issue you'll see something with that. And then I've been running a series on economic sustainability and going green and some of the small changes that businesses can make just to make a difference, because it really does affect their bottom line and their profitability by being able to save water, save electricity, reduce waste, maybe increase in recycling where they can. And so I just kind of have some tips in there. And we're also working with the East Central Florida Regional Planning Council. They're bringing their Diamond Awards to New Smyrna Beach in February of next year. But they also have a lot of information, and they're going to run a story. They're working with our Public Works Director, David Ray. We've installed solar panels on the Coronado Civic Center as well as the Live Oak Center. Just, being more eco-friendly, but we're also that saves on utility bills and things just for the city for, purposes that do. So as we go forward, there's a lot more other sustainable types of activities that our Public Works Director is working on and all of our facilities here in the city. So it's kind of exciting.
I see you talk about the sand replacement that the county is doing. Have you heard any date that they start moving it down to
I know
New
that they're
Smyrna?
still finishing up on the north side, but Buddy Davenport, who's also our regional director on the board for the Florida Inland Navigation District, he wanted people and the public to be notified that they're going to be dredging in the inlet. So all the islands that you see, it moves and the sand moves, and there's lots of shoaling that's occurred, and it makes that inlet very dangerous and treacherous. And so, of course, a lot of our boaters, love to use the islands to hang out on the weekends, but they will be doing some work and dredging some of those areas and opening those channels back up. That used to be navigable and now are not. So
Is that underway right now? And
yes, and they're doing some of that now, and then the sand is going on the north side, and then when they get to the south side, the sand will be located from Jasmine south.
yeah, I assume that won't take place until after turtle season.
I would imagine, yeah.
The turtles own this town.
Yeah, yep. And
Yes,
that's
they
May
do.
through October,
What?
usually.
Nice amenity.
Yep. And the maps that I have in here, when you see this live, it takes you to those links. But those maps, we've been working, our capital project director, as well as our GIS manager, have been working together so that those maps are real time. They're updated monthly now, and they're really great because if you click on one of those dots, it brings up a square, like a drop-down menu, and it gives you all of the details and the status of those projects.
That's nice.
And so it's for capital projects for the city, and then there's projects in review and the projects that are permitted. And so you can see the status, and they're updated on a monthly basis.
Hey, who's the developer for the property behind Publix?
Hogeye Fish Camp, it's called.
Who?
It's the Hogeye Fish Camp. That's what it is.
Behind Publix?
Yeah, that's what it used to be called. Not
And
anymore.
that's
Not-
the-
A developer, no, that's what it used to be called in the old days.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it was a Hogeye Fish. Originally was,
Are we talking the same thing?
yes,
The
on 7th
Saxon
Avenue,
and-
yeah, 7th and
okay.
Saxon, yeah.
The 80 townhomes.
Yeah.
Right, 77.
They round up.
Do you know who's the developer of that?
Well, it keeps changing.
That's good news.
There was a recent change, and all of a sudden, the price of the property went from 7 million to 10 million. And so it's going to, by the time they put shovel into the ground, they're going to have $250,000 or $300,000 into that lot.
Oh, yeah.
And,
Yeah.
well, I had heard they're going to start at $800,000.
Wow.
That's pretty cheap.
So, wow, is it? That's affordable housing here in our
But
region.
I don't know who it is. They certainly have cleared, I mean,
The land.
and.
Yeah, no, they're moving it forward for sure. Any idea of, is there gonna be some road improvements along Saxon?
I believe that they're required as part of the
Yeah, I
development.
would think, because that's gonna be a,
I sat in this room with the, when Saxon came up, the property came up there. And the question was asked during the construction portion of it, the sidewalk's being taken away. So it's gonna create a havoc in there. And they were saying, no, we can't, we're not gonna put a turn lane either, my understanding is, into there. There's only one entrance and one exit out of there. because they were trying to put one on 7th, I believe it was, on the
Yeah,
backside.
There is a open,
Right, they were trying to, but that has been, my understanding, that was shut down. And when I sat here, my recollection is that they're only gonna have one entrance off of Saxon, and one exit off of Saxon. I think might have changed.
No,
I could be wrong.
an entrance is not scheduled for that land on 7th.
Right, it's only on Saxon.
Correct.
They have
Now,
them,
word is that they're probably going to maintain that lot on 7th for an emergency
Right.
entrance, but it will be blocked.
Yes.
You know, you and I won't be able to use it. You know, they poured concrete from my house, I'm at 8th, and down the next two. And you know, the problem is, the cars I can live with, but the bicycles are going by my house at 30 miles an hour. I was at my mailbox the other day, and they went by behind me, I bet you within 4 inches, and didn't even give me a warning. And of course, those electric bikes
Yes.
make
That's a concern.
absolutely no, if I had stepped back, it could have killed me, literally.
That's a concern for a
As a
parking
matter of
director.
fact, I'm gonna find out if I can put speed bumps on my sidewalk.
Yeah, so,
okay.
In addition, I'm talking about funding. The county, part of the Volusia Business Resources that we partner with, they are bringing a free small business funding workshop to New Smyrna Beach on June 18th. It's at the Brannon Center. I have the flyer here. So
18th,
if
I'll
you
be here.
know of any, and it's really well done. We have some financial professionals, small business consultants, and bankers and lenders, and the attendees are going to learn exactly what they need to do and have in place in order to go to the bank and get funding. So it's very informational. If you know of anybody that's needing any assistance or small businesses, this is a free event. The other date I wanted you to put on your calendars is that our Southeast Volusia Chamber of Commerce Economic Development Summit is scheduled for October 23rd. It looks like the times will be 8 in the morning till probably 1 in the afternoon. We are working on putting together the agenda and kind of working on that now. And so if you have any comments or suggestions for the agenda items, let me know and I'll be happy to share them with the committee.
what time, Sam?
8 a.m. to 1 p.m.
That cuts into my pickleball time, I can't make it.
Priorities.
You have to
Priority,
make your
priority,
priority, Jess.
My priorities are pickleball. That's it.
And lastly, the date, just Kimley Horn. So on April 22nd, the commission approved the consultant contract with Kimley Horn to update both our comprehensive economic development strategy as well as our community redevelopment agency plans. So we will be starting with some public meetings probably in September. Once I have those dates firm, I will let you know. I'd love to have especially your input from there, from your perspective and, you know, all that you've learned and kind of your insights as well as at, you know, at those public meetings. Okay?
Great, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Anything else?
No, sir, that's all I have for today.
Thank you. Question for you, comprehensive plan amendment, I believe there's a committee looking at that, I believe Diana is on that.
That's the charter review.
Charter,
Charter
sorry.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. How does that impact economic development at a very high level?
Well,
Does it have any impact?
it could have impact on depending what goes through as far as the current votes they're going to take in regards to the mayor going from 2 years to 4 years. And if
Okay.
you're 50% or more in the primaries, you're automatically elected into the finals. You don't have to go into a runoff or anybody else there. So there's some things that can change the face of government in this town that are being talked about tonight also at 6 p.m. If anybody wants to come out, I'll be there for sure. But economically impacted, it all depends.
Not really focused on that, it's more on
No, it's more on
the
the
organizational
it's-
structure of
Right,
government.
it's how
It's
we govern our city,
administratively, how we operate.
how we govern the city, how the city's governed and ran.
Yep.
I mean, to me, it makes sense that, you know, some of the changes around the mayoral position, I mean, but, okay, thank you.
I have the comments now.
Yes.
So when we, here around the room, I would ask all of you to raise your hand if you can. When you go to some other places on vacation or for the day or whatever, do you get charged a tourist tax?
Yes.
I haven't,
When you go to-
personally where I pay it, or it's in my hotel bill?
Well, hotel bill, it's always a tourist tax somewhere.
Yeah,
Yes.
there is.
You
That's
pay
how
for
we
expenses
fund
in
a lot
here.
of things.
Do we have one here?
Yes.
We do. What's the tax? Now, is it not a hotel? Is it tourist tax to the city or the county?
It's through the county. That legislation was approved back in 1977.
Okay.
And we, which is kind of odd, Volusia County actually has 3 CVBs where part of the portion of the money goes to us. I think it's about 12%.
Okay.
A portion goes to the Ocean Center. A portion goes to the Southeast Volusia Visitor Center. There's a Daytona Beach Visitor Center, and there's a DeLand, or West Volusia. So that we have 3 in this county, and they get about, I think, 3 or 4% of those tax dollars to advertise our area outside of the county.
But what is, I mean, okay, that's a bed tax, or is that a tourist tax?
It's one and the same.
Okay,
That's what
so
they call it.
there is, for say, no tourist tax. Like in some places, you go, if I go down to South Beach and I get a meal in the restaurant down on Ocean Drive, for example, which I've done that, you get charged for tourist tax. On top of whatever you pay. If you go to a hotel,
Right.
you get a
So some
bed tax and
restaurants,
a
right.
tourist tax there.
But if you go to the Pavilion and you have a meal at the Olive Garden in the Pavilion in Port Orange, there's an additional tax on there.
And do
It's to pay back for their infrastructure and
Do we have
setting
that?
up the development.
Do we have that in the city?
We don't have a citywide one. I don't know of any specific businesses or developments that have that have done that, but it is a common practice.
Can the city impose that?
I don't know if we had an opportunity to do countywide, or was it city? No, it's countywide, to do a 0.5-cent sales tax increase, and it was voted down. So it would have to go to referendum.
Right, so, but can the city propose, for example, if the leaders of the city wanted to propose say a 2-cent tax on restaurants, for example, tourist tax on restaurants or Airbnbs, can they impose a tourist tax on the Airbnbs just for the city, not county, just for the city to recoup?
Only if it was voted on by the voters. It would have to be
So-
voted on by the citizens. It would go on the referendum.
So we have a chance, we have an opportunity, you're saying, that this could be on the ballot for next year elections to impose a 2-cent or 4 cents or an Airbnb tax, tourist tax solely for the city. So
I
the
think
city can,
you'd have to vet it, and then you have to get that to the supervisor of elections. I think the deadline on that is like June to get anything on the ballot.
June next year?
June of this year if you want something to go in November.
Oh, so we have a chance in
Around-ish.
28 then.
Don't hold me to
But
those dates.
there is a
but
road to that process.
There's a road to the process, but you would have to really vet it well. You'd have to get all the businesses behind it and stuff.
Well, not the residents though, because the residents,
Citizens.
right, citizens, the residents of the city here, because what I'm going at is that we're trying to diversify our tax base. And if we have our main thrust of economy in this town is tourism. That's it. We don't have much, we have a little bit of
That's what
manufacturing.
the county tried to do a few years ago, and it did not pass.
Well, that's a
It
county,
was-
but the city.
I know,
right?
but it was countywide,
Right,
and it
right.
was a tourist tax only. It was
Right.
only going to be on the backs or the burden of visitors, not on residents, and it did not
Yeah,
pass.
how would you manage that? I mean, I guess rentals and do we impose a bed tax on private rentals?
The county does, yes.
Okay,
How much?
so if,
10%?
okay, so if I rent a condo here, the rent,
Well,
They're-
it's different
they're-
short-term versus long-term.
Yeah, they're required to collect it and then pay it into the
Yeah.
county, and then the county divvies
probably
it up.
long-term not
So-
much, right?
What I'm trying to figure out, and I still haven't got an answer to this, is how much does the city get from the bed tax in reality? Or we don't get anything, just it goes to
The city doesn't.
We
It's-
don't.
It's our Southeast Volusia Advertising Authority.
So they get the money, we don't.
CVB, correct.
So-
And they don't get all of it, they get a small portion of it,
Right.
because part of it goes to, like I said, the goes to the Ocean Center
Right.
to support that, and
Right.
then another portion goes somewhere else. I don't remember. I'd have to look at the legislation. It's been years since I've looked at it.
Yeah,
So-
I get what you're trying to do. I suspect a lot of these things are, been vetted and,
I don't know if they're better or not there,
and,
but as we
rejected
grow
maybe.
more and more is, I don't understand, and I don't, get the point of, we pay taxes here, but it goes to the county, back taxes, and we don't get anything back, but yet we have the
We
infrastructure.
collect it.
It's, I guess they go at the impact, the economic impact, what it goes on. But economic impact goes to this, what they spend here, then it goes to taxes back to the county. So in reality, it would be good to know what economic impact we have from tourism, tax-wise.
Well,
in
if
this
you
town.
went to the breakfast last week that Debbie Meals had, the Ad Authority, you'd have all of that data, because she presented it.
Okay, again, back to my earlier point, pickleball is more important.
well,
My physical, my physical activities and mental health is a little more important at times, so.
You know what,
Anyways,
Jess? I will ask, I could have Debbie Meals perhaps come and give us a presentation
That'd be
on
great.
that.
Yeah.
I
That'd be
will
great.
reach out to her and
That's
find out when
awesome.
she's
See?
available. Yep,
And we get to the bottom of it.
yep.
yeah, and I'm going to try and end this a little early to accommodate your pickleball.
I already started at
okay.
8 this morning.
7:30. One thing, getting Debbie here and other speakers to, discuss these issues would be great. If you haven't done it, especially the members of this body, there is an opportunity to go tour Deering Park, privately and see more about what they're doing with the land to build that trust. I've worked with these guys for some time. That's where my point of view comes from, and I've seen what they've already been doing down there as good stewards of the land, and they welcome visitors, especially, folks of
Skip
our...
like me.
Yeah. Is if future agenda items, anything we want to cover at next meeting? And I think we're going to take a sabbatical in June, July, or do we?
The city commission does not meet in June,
Mm-hmm.
but we can take June off, or we can take July off. It just depends what's
If
the
we're
will
good,
of the
can we do
board.
this outside? Remember, well, when I was a kid,
Can't.
they'd teach class outside on a nice day.
Yes.
Yeah, unless you can bring all this
Was it as
recording
hot as it was
facility.
here?
Yeah, no
Yeah.
doubt. It was California.
Yeah.
We're only 3 here, but do we want to, take a sabbatical in June when the commission is off?
Yeah,
Okay.
we got a forum.
Yeah.
I make a motion, we take a sabbatical in June.
Second.
Please take the vote.
Well,
John O'Keen,
Yes.
Jesse Romero,
yes, I should have said no.
Yes.
Vote against your own rabble-rouser, pickleball player. So the motion carries, and we're going to take the month of
reconvene.
June off. So hopefully we'll see each other socially or about town. There are some other, activities going on from an economic development perspective. I'm going to call this meeting to adjournment. I don't think I even have to, do I? But I like to use the gavel. So there you go.
Thank
So
you
when
all.
did
The
it-
power of this. Ooh.